everyone, and welcome back for another episode of the Maryland Living Podcast. I am here with John Reynolds.
Hello.
And Pete Fettig.
Hi.
And today we're kicking off a new series, and we are calling it America in Miniature.
Wow.
Exploring,
You're in for a treat.
You are, because we're exploring all 4 regions of Maryland.
What are those 4 regions, Megan?
So we've got the western part of Maryland,
Yep.
Eastern Shore,
Yep.
Baltimore, and the DC suburbs.
Sweet. Can't
So,
wait.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I'm excited because there are so many. We could be in the mountains. We could be by the ocean. So today we're going to be talking about the Eastern Shore.
Eastern Shore.
Yeah.
Eastern Shore.
And there's a lot going on over there. So, and we're so close. I mean, I know our listeners are kind of from all over, but we're so close that it's something that we can go like for the day or for
It's
a
a short
weekend.
drive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So before we get into that, what's going on with you guys?
Busy.
Yeah.
Yep. Just real estate work busy in a good way.
You had some family visiting.
Yeah, my son and his wife and the grandbaby were with us over the weekend. Had a great visit. An even better exit.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure they're going to love to hear that.
No. I mean, I love them all, but you know.
Best thing about family is coming to see them or going to them coming to see you, and then when they leave.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like fish, after 3 days it
Yes,
starts to rot.
that is so
and
true.
They'll be back like
we all love family.
They'll be back in a week.
Oh, okay.
And then back again at the end of the month to celebrate the baby's 1-year birthday.
Crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I went and saw Post Malone at the new Northeast Stadium in Landover. I actually really funny. I booked my tickets to Post Malone and Jelly Roll, they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I booked my tickets and then I went back, as we do, to make sure I purchased them correctly. And I said, Northeast Stadium. Oh my God, where did I book these
Is that what
tickets?
it's called now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it the old FedEx Field? Is
Yeah.
That what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
How was the parking situation? I remember you.
It's the worst stadium. In
Actually, the parking I don't mind. The stadium it feels a little run
It's a
down.
hot dump.
It was a hot dump when they built
Way
it.
back
I mean,
when,
there were
yeah.
visibility issues.
Yeah, there were
and-
literally seats where you couldn't see the game. Like,
Yeah.
hello.
We
That's
were at club
101.
level, which I like because of the bathroom situation.
That's
and
important.
the food is really much better on that level.
Good.
No, it was really, really good. I mean, they put on a really, really good show and it was a good crowd and it was a little hairy getting home, but
Yeah.
it was late at night and it was way past my bedtime. So,
Yeah.
That doesn't help. Right.
but let's jump into the Eastern Shore.
Let's do
So
it.
we're going to talk about a little bit of everything: real estate, history, fun things to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love going over there. It's actually kind of funny. I'm heading over there this weekend to go to Salisbury to go to my son's baseball tournament. And I actually discovered that there's a Salisbury Zoo because I'm trying to think of things to do.
I had no idea there was a Salisbury.
Well,
Well, you know what
there is.
Salisbury is? It is the biggest city in the Eastern Shore.
Yes, I
Yep.
did. I did learn
So
that.
you're going to the big one.
Actually, there's a lot going on in Salisbury.
Isn't it like the chicken capital of the East Coast?
I don't know that Salisbury. I don't-
Purdue's over there.
Maybe their headquarters, but I feel
Yeah.
like there are other parts of Eastern Shore that probably do more of the like cooping and manufacturing.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
one thing. When you're on the Eastern Shore, you see
You
those
smell it.
run those trucks. Those
Yeah.
trucks
Oh, yeah.
full of chicken.
Oh.
Mountain air.
All
That's
right.
all over.
Well,
And that's always nice when it's 102 degrees out.
Or
I'll
they go
report
over
back on
the
the
side of the
chickens.
Bay Bridge and feed all the crabs.
That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we're heading over there for a baseball tournament and I'm trying to think of things to do with my other son. So I saw there is the Salisbury Zoo, which is actually open 7 days a week. We're going to go check that out.
Awesome.
And then also there's a lot of fun things to do in Salisbury, which I did not realize. They do a Maryland Folk Festival. They're about to have the 3rd annual one. This is right up your alley, Pete.
Oh, that sounds like a hot ticket.
It's free. They have,
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
250 artists. It's actually not until September. So you have time to plan your.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, so that's some fun things to do in
Ish.
Salisbury. Yeah, I love zoos.
No, zoos are great.
I like
Folk
zoos.
festival, I probably.
Yeah,
I deal with a lot of folk.
I wouldn't mind a folk festival.
Yeah,
but we
you're
really
you're
wanted
old.
to we wanted to focus on things that people like to do on the Eastern Shore. And we have a lot of Maryland listeners, but you may not know what to do when you go over there. So there's a couple of great places to stay. There's the Inn at Perry Cabin, which we've talked about
that before,
which is in St. Michael's.
Wedding Crashers.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's a classic.
They've got the farmer's market there, and then there's the winery. Talbot Street. There's a lot of shopping you can do on Talbot Street, just kind of walking around down there. I don't know if you guys know this, but actually I'm kind of looking for fun things to do this summer with my kids. And one of the things that I thought we could do is go to the Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum, which I've never been to, but it's kind of like a hot spot for like school field trips.
Oh, yeah.
What town is that?
It's in St. Michael's.
Oh, St. Michael's. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Which is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 18 acres. It was founded in 1965, and it was once used for seafood packing. There's a dock and, work boats, but it looks like it's kind of a cool place for kids to go and check out. So
I'm sure.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah. So
St. Michael's has a really interesting little historical lore about it. You can yawn now.
history is not my fave, but
It's known as the town that fooled the British.
oh,
And it was during the War of 1812. Gather round.
okay.
Please.
In August of 1813, St. Michael's was targeted by British forces due to its active shipyards, which were building privateers. And privateers were fast ships that were used to attack enemy vessels. And according to the legend, the townspeople of St. Michael's cleverly hung lanterns in trees and on ships' masts, causing the British to overshoot the town with their cannon fire during a nighttime attack.
Oh,
sounds
that's kind of cool. Okay,
is
I
kinda
like
cool.
that history.
Yeah,
That's kind of
yeah,
interesting.
Absolutely.
Feels a touch mythy.
I like it, though.
I like it too. I
Yeah.
wasn't familiar with that one.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of a funny? There are some like old legends from the Eastern Shore that are kind of funny. One is about Assateague. And we all, I mean, everybody knows, what do you go to Assateague for? You go to the beach. Yes, thank you, Pete. That was quite the horse impression.
Beautiful park.
Yeah, yeah.
You can do a little campfire out there.
Camping.
You got the horses.
Got the horses. Do you guys know how the horses got there?
Like a shipwreck or something.
I
Like
think-
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think on hoof.
Yes. Yep.
Boy.
They sure
He's
did.
bringing the zing.
No, but apparently there is a legend that there was a ship coming over from Spain, and there was a fire on the ship, and the ship sunk, and that they all swam there.
Yeah. And because it's a barrier island, they're kind of
Stuck there.
stuck there.
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
But a more plausible reason why they're there is back in the 1700s. They're saying that I read that the owners on the mainland, like the farmers, brought them over to Assateague to avoid like livestock taxation,
Oh, okay.
which I think probably makes more
And then
sense.
they had horse sex and propagated.
Thank you for
Yeah.
explaining that, because I wasn't sure how they continued
It's
to
an
have
official
them.
term.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's not like a horse
It's a
mill
veterinary
over there.
term. Animal husbandry. Yeah.
Not 3D printed or any of that.
But yeah, I have been to Assateague a couple of times. I want to take the kids over there because
Have they been there?
they've never been there
It's a really great spot.
to check out the horses, and then I mean, I love a good camping session for a night or two.
Yeah.
So they've
Is there
got the
Assawoman Bay? Assawoman.
Assawoman Bay is so you know how like when you're in Ocean City, you're either Oceanside or Bayside.
Right, yep.
That Bayside is the Assawoman Bay.
They used to have ladies out there and they bathe, and sometimes, depending on what side you were on, you could see them, and sometimes you see Assawoman, and that's how it got.
This is not that
so-
type of podcast.
So
Pete.
that's not true. But related to that, and I mean, there are people.
Sounded good.
There are people to this day that believe it. That the reason it's called that is because the bay is in the shape of the rear end of a woman,
That's where I was headed.
and that's
some
not true
man
at all.
made that up.
Yeah, it's an old Native American name,
Right.
Like Assawoman, Nanticoke,
Yep.
Assateague,
Yeah.
Chesapeake, all of those
I
types of
think
names.
the island should be called Horsateague, not Assateague, because Assateague would
Be a donkey.
donkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we get a petition together to change it to
I bet
Horsateague?
if we call the powers that be, they'd probably. Be
All right,
willing
I'll let
to
you.
change
I'll
it.
put that in your
Yeah,
Just like
that's
on
on
your
the to-do
to-do
list.
list, buddy.
Gulf of America. We'll swap that out.
God.
Anyway.
Anyway, yeah, I've been actually trying to put together like a list of things that I want to do with the kids over the summer, just because I kind of thought it would be cool. There's so many things we talk about on the podcast. Some things I've done, some things I haven't done. So I want to take the kids to some.
Some things are true, some things are not.
So I want to take the kids. One thing we do every year, which is really fun and they look forward to it, is go to the Terrapin Beach Park. Are you guys familiar with that?
Yeah, we mentioned that
Yeah, we've mentioned it before.
a few times.
Okay.
With that and the Blue Angels.
Okay.
But no, go ahead.
Do you want to
Go
talk
ahead.
about the Blue? It's funny you should mention the Blue Angels,
boy.
actually.
Because we're in Salisbury. We're going to...
No, but you know what's coming up in Ocean City?
The Blue Angels. Really?
It's not the Blue Angels. It's just the air show.
Okay.
Oh, which is really cool, though. The kids will love that if
they
you haven't
will.
been.
When is that?
That is June 14th.
Okay.
There's a bunch of fun things coming up in Ocean City, actually.
Kicking off the summer right.
Yeah, I mean, there's always like live music and all the fishing tournaments. The White Marlin opens August 4th. And Pete, I made a special note here to tell you that
tell me.
is on July 6th. I hope you don't have plans. Because there is a camel and ostrich race going on in
where?
Ocean City.
Really?
Yes, July 6th.
Probably going to be the other side there at Deep Creek Lake.
Yeah.
Why camels and ostriches?
I don't
'Cause
know.
they're
It's
both
just a
quick.
thing, I guess.
I got
Yeah,
my
I
money on
guess
the
so.
ostriches, though.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I would bet on an ostrich over a camel.
Unless it's distance-wise, because those camels have
They
that
can go
full
forever.
tank.
Yeah.
They can
Oh,
just keep
yeah.
on going.
That's true.
Yeah,
If
anyway,
it's super hot. They'll win.
there is a plethora of things to do.
Yep.
Are your kids? I know that you're not much of a history buff, but I know your husband is. Are your
Yeah,
kids?
though the kids are, well, Aiden, my oldest, he is really into history. In fact, we had actually gone to Jamestown down in Williamsburg over spring break, like I think last year. And we're standing there at Jamestown and we're just kind of looking out. And then he quotes, I can't even quote what it was, but it was so funny and so full of detail. He's like, well, here
Eloquent.
stood these, and we were like, whoa, he was really much smarter than me.
Good for him.
But no, I'm not much into the history, but he is for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You might want to, because there's a lot of, like Harriet Tubman, the Underground Railroad. She's from the Eastern Shore. I believe she's from Cambridge. And the Underground Railroad, there's actually a tour that you can take, which will take you to all the various
Where's that?
places. It's on the Eastern, it's
Okay.
on the entire peninsula, like from Cambridge.
Oh, like by boat?
No.
Oh, by
It's by foot
like
or car or horse and buggy. Yeah.
okay.
And then Frederick Douglass, who was a big abolitionist back in the day,
Yeah.
he's from there.
And they got the that was I was thinking Banneker, the park in
Benjamin Banneker.
Benjamin-
That's in Owella. That's
Right.
on this
That's
side.
what I was thinking
But
of,
that and the reason that we have people like Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass from that area is because the Eastern Shore, to this day, but especially back then, it has much more of a southern feel to it.
Right. Yep.
And it's always been very rural, and their biggest crop was tobacco.
Yeah.
And as a result, there were quite a few enslaved people there. And so there's a dude, and I stumbled upon him. I was like scrolling on Instagram or something, and I actually sent you a link.
Yeah.
He's a local guy. His name is Jay Corsi Willis.
Okay.
He's a really interesting guy. I liked his profile or whatever, so I'm seeing more of his stuff. He puts out these quick hit videos. His family apparently traces their roots back generations and generations on Ken Island. And so he does these walking tours of Ken Island and just points out these really, really interesting facts. One thing you might like, Megan, is he also hosts a true crime series, like in person over there.
Okay.
And he's a musician. He plays at Big Al a lot.
Yeah, that's where the one you sent me
Yeah.
was in front of Big
So
Al.
he does like true crime, like Eastern Shore stories.
No, well, the one I saw was about that. This is dark, but it was about that couple that murdered that couple in the hotel in Ocean City.
Okay, yeah, this sounds right up my
It
alley.
was quite a few years ago. I think they found one of them in the dumpster.
Oh my gosh!
So, yeah,
Why
he
do I
did-
not know anything about that?
He did a bit of a dive on that, but he's
dumpster dive, if you
really
will.
interesting. And so if anyone is interested in getting a lot of specific detail about Kent Island or about true crime, or if you just like folk music, check out J, the letter J, Coursey Willis. And Coursey is spelled Coursey. And I think we should reach out to him and have him on the podcast.
Yeah, I would love that.
He seems like a really cool guy.
Maybe he's going to be playing at the Maryland Folk Festival in September if he does folk music.
He's got a website. You should check it out.
Yeah, let's share his website too.
Yeah, I'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've talked a little bit about history. We've talked about fun, cool things to do. What's it like to live over there, to buy something?
Well, we've got
or sell?
history. We've got all kinds of real estate data because we wouldn't be true to ourselves if we didn't talk a little bit about that.
Correct.
And there's lots of counties on the Eastern Shore.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of start with the ones from where we work, where we kind of touch first and then expand out from there. Yeah. Queen Anne's is definitely the first. That was founded in 1706, and it's kind of a combination of northern Talbot and the southern portions of Kent County. Mm-hmm. It's named after Queen Anne of Great Britain, who John knows pretty well.
Yep.
The median sold
took her to
price.
the prom.
I mean, you guys are teenagers.
That's a comment on my age.
That's what that is.
Okay.
1706. I don't think you.
I was like, wait, what does he know?
Whatever. You guys just talk among yourselves.
For our listeners that don't know, it's a common occurrence to make fun of John's age.
We all kind of make fun of each other.
Yeah.
It's a common occurrence to do that as well.
Yeah,
this is true. No one's safe.
Yeah. My age and my apparently inordinate large head, which is full of brain matter.
Full of historical data. Exactly. I mean, you have no choice at that age.
Exactly.
So
carry on, Pete.
The median sold price is $530K on Queen Anne's, which kind of makes sense from what we know about the market there. It's actually up 10% year over year, which is a big gain.
Oh, okay.
We've got 3.2 months of inventory, so certainly a little bit more than we're used to over here. 28 days on market is the average.
Okay.
I even went to look at the rental, leasing rate, just because some people may not be able to purchase right away. Mm-hmm. So the 3-month trending average for leases averages right at $3,000 a month. So with that kind of rental, you might want to consider a purchase. We can help.
Our biggest sale and purchase was in Queen Anne's.
Yeah, and I think for the brokerage as well.
Yeah, a few years back.
Yep. So for leases averages right at $3,000 a month. So with that kind of rental, you might want to consider a purchase. We can help.
Our biggest sale and purchase was in Queen Anne's.
Yeah, and I think for the brokerage as well.
Yeah, a few years back.
Yep. So Talbot County, founded in 1661. I think she's fed up already. Yeah.
So Talbot County, what?
Founded in 1661. So not the oldest.
Start over, say Talbot County, like you were saying.
Talbot County, which was founded in 1661.
Okay.
Was named after Lady Grace Talbot. I don't think John knew her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a little before her time.
A little bit ahead of my time.
Yep.
A little bit.
So they're really close, almost at a balanced market. They have 4.7 months of inventory. The median sold price over there is $475,000.
Okay.
And that's up 2.7% year over year, which is kind of what we expect to see in real estate these days. 32 days on market is the average. I didn't already say that. And then
you didn't. That's significantly higher than Queen Anne's.
4.7 months. That's why.
Yeah.
A lot more inventory.
Right. Wow.
So 2,100 is the average 3-month average for leases over there. Not all these even have lease data. Some counties are just, I guess the lower income counties, it's easier just to purchase.
So Queen Anne's, you said, was up 10% in price?
Year over year, yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I mean, that's super desirable. It makes sense.
Yeah, and I think as our side of the bay gets more and more densely populated, people are looking across the bay a bit more as a bedroom community.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time when Kent Island people would never consider living there.
Because you'd have to come over the bridge for anything.
Now they actually
they have a lot over there.
Everything's there.
They have everything being Target and Starbucks, and that's all you really need.
Right.
Grocery stores, restaurants.
If they had a Costco, it would be paradise.
Yeah. There's a lot of doctors and offices over there now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember being a little kid, and we would have to. We're going to the beach. We would have to stop for a restroom break on this side of the bridge because once you cross the bridge, there was nothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. One thing I love doing when we go over there, and I plan to stop this weekend, is to go to the Queenstown outlets. I'm sorry, this is not part of your real estate data.
We got to break this up because this is just too much data.
No, I think this is really interesting. But no, I love stopping at that Queenstown.
Those are my favorite too.
Yeah,
bar none.
Yeah, I like those.
That's a good place to stop.
So we'll head on out to Kent County from here, which is the oldest established county. It was birthed in 1642 and named after the county of Kent, which is in England. Yes.
Yep.
Oh.
So the median sold price of homes over there is $345. They have very, very small change, like 0.2% year over year, which is shocking. So very, very stable pricing
Kent
over there.
Is north of Queen Anne's, isn't that?
Correct.
Like where Rock
like
Hall
it's
is?
north of Churchill. That's where Wharton is.
Yeah. Oh,
Galena. Yeah. So it's Rock Hall's included in there.
Okay.
So we just had a listing over there, which
Chestertown is where?
I think Chestertown is just out. It's in there as well.
Okay, so it's part of.
It's in the border. Yep,
it's part
kind
of
of closer to the border.
That's a cool town.
It is. Yeah, lots of history there too.
Yeah.
So they have 2.9 months of inventory. Pretty healthy sellers market still. 41 days on market is their average, and their lease average for 3 months again is $2,200 a month.
Right.
Somerset County, another old one, born in 1666, named after Mary, Lady Somerset.
Okay.
This is the one that is completely balanced. This is the only county on the Eastern Shore that's literally got like full dead balance. It's 5.87 months of inventory.
Okay.
That's as
a
balanced
balanced
as
market.
it gets. Yep.
Yeah.
And the indicator right there, this couldn't make it any clearer. So in the past 3 months, they've had 10 new active listings. They've had 10 pending and 10 closed. I mean, you talk about balance, that is balance. There's 38 days on market. There's no lease activity, I think, because the entry price at $180.
Yeah.
Why would you even lease? Like
Somerset's down. That's where Princess Anne is, right?
It captures. It's got that Smith Island.
Yeah.
And it had. Excuse me.
That uninhabited
Princess Anne.
Oh my gosh.
Where we've got the uninhabited. That we said there's houses over there.
Yeah.
Sorry, Megan. But Princess Anne, where we have that fantastic farm listing right now.
Yep.
Chrisfield's in there, so it's the very southern kind of end.
Okay.
Before you hit Virginia. We've got Dorchester County.
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Sure.
So what about population information?
Sure. If you'd like me to stop and write everything down, I could do that for you, Megan.
Yeah, that wasn't in the in the preparation.
No, but I just think that I'm curious. I mean, I think that probably.
There's population here to answer your
I
question.
want to make note too that when I often share data, you guys ask me questions too
sure,
that I don't know.
We want to see if you know your stuff or not. If you're just reading off the paper like we are.
No, but I think that obviously that kind of plays into that too. I mean, there's a lesser population.
So if you want to go and Google that while I'm talking, you can.
Okay.
I wonder, where are we with the? I have shame on me for not keeping up with it, but does anyone know where we are with the third span of the Bay Bridge? Has that been approved?
Oh,
No.
that's going to take forever.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard
I think
any.
we got to get the Key Bridge built before
that'll-
anything happens.
Yeah,
with
that needs to happen first. Absolutely.
I think I have a contact that I had talked to a few times about, who's actually a gentleman who's actually helping rebuild the Key Bridge, and he was talking with me about how they were really, really focused on the Bay Bridge, and then when the Key Bridge happened, they just obviously had to completely shift and refocus. But
well, the Key Bridge was just taken for granted always. The Bay Bridge was like this necessity because every year you see more and more and more and more traffic.
Yeah.
Now they have to close Route 18 because those bypasses are all being overused. They're closing the side roads getting to the Bay Bridge because people are just abusing it, and the people who live there can't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why the focus has been so kind of
as it should
pronounced.
be. Yeah, no, I think there needs to be a focus on it. It's a problem.
It absolutely is. And I was in the it was like my junior year. Everybody goes for senior week to Ocean City. I was in the 15-hour backup getting back.
Really?
Oh yeah, we had to go like a half day the very first day of school because we literally didn't sleep at all.
Wow.
It was awful.
What was going on?
15 hours?
Oh, just like all the seniors were coming back. Okay.
I forgot the mileage backup, but it took us 15 hours to get home.
That's insane.
You could have just walked. Yeah, we literally stopped, ate, and we could see all the exact same cars after we left the restaurant. They
in
were
the
still
same
there.
place. Wow.
People were selling water out of their car. It was awful. Yeah. So it was crazy.
That is crazy.
That is.
And I had a stick shift. What fun.
Oh, yeah, that is. That is, I mean, that's a big downside.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it over there. I think we would all agree that when you go from our side of the bay, you cross that bridge to the other side.
You only have to hit Queen Anne's, and
you're
it's just
suddenly on island time.
Your blood pressure
your
drops.
Your heart rate drops.
It
just
really does.
big exhale. Yeah.
But if there's even the most minor traffic incident on that bridge, and there are no shoulders on those bridges, you're stuck.
I think that's why
wind shuts it down.
a lot of people freak out, and you know, we've talked about this before, and I know how everyone hates when I repeat myself, but you know, people.
Oh, the Blue Angels fly over there. Is that what you're going to say?
Are you talking about the Blue Angels?
No, I'm talking about when you can pay someone to drive you over.
Oh yeah.
I think it's $40. Did we look into that?
I think it's 25, but I could be wrong.
I heard the Blue Angels will fly you over.
Oh my god! Never again. I'm never bringing up the Blue Angels.
They are the best, so you can keep talking about it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it would be really cool if they brought back the ferries.
That's a good idea.
No.
I think it would be great.
I think so.
You have any idea how long it would take?
It doesn't matter. It would. There are people that would do it just for like the historic experience of it.
So you would seriously not take a ferry?
I have. That's the thing.
What's your aversion to ferries?
Why waste all that time when you just drive over the bridge?
Oh, I mean, you just shared a story where you had to sit for 15 hours.
No, but I think if they
That sounds
reintroduced
better.
the ferries, that it would help maybe alleviate some of the traffic, and it would give people an experience. Yeah, I'm just saying.
That's for old people.
Love Point was where the ferry would drop off the people. You know Love Point Road at the top of Ken Island? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there was a big fancy hotel there and a boardwalk and beaches. And
it's a shame that's not still there.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they'd bring it back if someone would take a ferry.
Okay.
How'd Love Point get its name?
Lovers.
No idea.
Lovers on
the name
beach.
Love Point itself is tied to local legend, often variations of a story about two lovers who died in the nearby waters.
Oh, gosh, that sounds really sad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's the next county we're going to talk about?
Dorchester County.
There's so many. I had no idea there were this many counties on the Eastern Shore.
Hours and hours. We could spend like
sleepless
a session
nights
on any one of these counties.
Yeah.
Dorchester is home to the Blackwater National Refuge, the wildlife refuge. That might be a fun place to take the kids to.
Oh, okay.
So it was. This county was born in 1669, named after the Earl of Dorset. Not Dorchester, but Dorset. Mm-hmm. They have a median sale price there of $225K, so pretty affordable. Their pricing is up actually 7.9 year over year, which is pretty considerable.
That is, yeah.
They are almost in a balanced market too. So they have 4.7 months of inventory, another couple weeks dribbled in there, and we've got a really balanced market.
What's
there.
the big town in Dorchester?
Cambridge, I believe, is in Dorchester.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. So as soon as you on your way to Ocean City, always hit that big turn. Cambridge is right there.
What's the one? Yeah, it's Cambridge. Which one do you cross the big river? Is that Cambridge?
I think it's Cambridge.
Okay,
yeah. Yep.
You know what's my there's a hotel, the Hyatt is in Cambridge.
Oh yeah, that's a
nice
one.
I
Yeah.
love
that resort.
It's
that
got
hotel.
like
Yes.
really nice.
So I think it was maybe last year or the year before, the day school let out, a friend and I took our kids there and spent the night, because it's really expensive to go.
Oh, yeah.
But there are times that you can go and it's not as expensive, like during the week. So we like the kids got out of school on like a Thursday, and then we just drove it was a half day, so we just drove right down there. I had never been before. She goes all the time. But you can rent boats, jet skis.
It has literally everything.
And it's great views. You can be in the pool, be looking at the bay.
Do you have to be a guest there?
No, anybody can
Really?
get a room there, yeah.
Wow.
But there is golf. I mean, a lot of people are,
Right.
I know it's a big golf.
yeah.
and it's
golf.
right on the water.
It's right on the
Right on the water. There's
soon as
just
you cross over.
you would never be bored. There's so much to do. There's pickleball and tennis, and then they've just got like yard games outside. And then at night, they have an indoor pool and many outdoor pools with a slide. But the indoor pool, they have a movie at night for the kids.
That's really cool.
Which is really cool. And then they do there's multiple fire pits, and everybody goes outside and cooks
cool.
s'mores. And yeah, it's super cool. It's my favorite thing to do over there, honestly. It's great.
So Dorchester, just to finish this up, they have a 35 days on market, which is, makes sense. And we're almost at a balanced market there.
Right.
And if you're looking to rent, it looks like the 3-month average rental rate is, I say 3 month. So we're looking at the data over 3 months.
Right.
Obviously, you rent for a year, $2,300 a month.
Okay.
Which is a little high considering the price point of real estate.
Yeah.
We got Worcester County in Maryland. This is kind of like the Ocean City side, Berlin. You've got what's that? Ocean Pines. That's a big development over there. People live year round. So it was a later edition, 1742. The Earl of Worcester's here.
Oh my gosh!
And so as expected, when you couple in Ocean City, the average price, median sold price for the year was $410,000. It's actually down 2.4% year over year, which is interesting.
Yeah,
21 days on market is the average, but they are also seeing an influx of inventory, so they're at 4 months of standing inventory right now. There's really no lease data, mainly because there's such a spread of property there. Like you could be looking at rental rates of $20,000 a month versus $1,200.
Right.
So it doesn't make sense to even quote.
Well, because it includes Ocean City,
absolutely.
you have
those
weekly rentals,
waterfront.
and
So I just didn't try to include any of that. Then you got Wicomico or Wicomico. Very late addition. 1867 was added as a county, and I'm going to touch on the very last one after this, but this doesn't have a whole lot of, when we think of Eastern Shore, we think of shoreline, waterfront. This only has the very kind of like easternmost tip.
Yeah, it's almost landlocked.
Yeah, so like Nanticoke is included there. It's almost landlocked. So Salisbury's here though, as where Megan's going to be in Wicomico
all
County.
Summer.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is again
all
the
summer.
biggest city on the Eastern Shore, and it's also the county seat, so you can explore all that. The median sold price there is $309,000. They have 2.8 months of inventory, and they had a little bump in their sale price year over year of just 1.1%. 41 days on market is the average, which is a little high for that amount of inventory. There's still definitely a seller's market there.
Right.
And if you're looking at leasing there, expect to spend about $1,750 a month. Last but not least, this one is kind of like the redheaded stepchild of the Eastern Shore. It's Caroline County, Maryland.
Yeah.
Excuse me, because it's completely landlocked.
Oh.
So unless you include that little bit of the river that pops up there.
It butts up next to Delaware.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
The biggest spread across Delaware. So I didn't pull stats because when we're talking Eastern Shore, we want shoreline.
Yeah.
But I have to acknowledge that Caroline County is there.
It's there.
So, yep.
And I think towns that are
Denton's in there. Like that's the biggest city there.
Federalsburg.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got some bigger cities, but it's not, I don't consider it the shore.
The most expensive county then is Queen Anne's.
Which makes sense.
Because it's
You're right
close.
across from Annapolis.
Yeah.
Right across from Annapolis.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you guys go over there, do you have like restaurants or things that you guys want to like stop at that you always go to that you like?
Places at the Narrows.
Yeah, the Narrows.
Are great.
That's a popular
Fisherman's,
place.
The Big Al's Tiki Bar.
That's
that is
such a cool place.
You can't
we
not
have to
go
take
there.
you there. Well, you'll be away all summer, but maybe when you get
gosh.
back. If you pop in the office one day, maybe we can all get
Okay.
down there.
Yeah.
It's not like a Friday or beach traffic day.
It's 40 minutes, right? 40, maybe an hour.
Not even. No.
Yeah, I guess not.
I have some friends that drive
35.
from Bethesda frequently to go to Noxie's Table, which is part of the Chesapeake. I think it's the Chesapeake Bay Beach Club.
Correct. Yep.
And it's really fun. We've been there for dinner with them a few times, and there's they have like outside games and a fire pit too.
Nice.
The food is amazing, and just the outdoor area.
Yeah,
is
what
great.
else is it? The Narrows
The bridges.
Fishermen's and the bridges.
The
Yeah.
jetty,
Yeah, okay.
which is
Right,
a
the
great,
jetty.
fun bar. But they
And
actually
that's
have
on
really
the
good food.
north side of Route 50, like, right?
North side.
Is
I
it on
guess
the
it's
other
north
side of Route 50, Narrows?
Yeah, sure.
No, the jetty.
It's
Oh,
on
the jetty,
Right, I know
yeah.
it's on the right side of 50 when I'm headed east.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's
I think it's north.
yeah.
Okay.
Let me look at my map.
Okay.
I'll say sure.
Another place that I like over there, it used to be called Hemingway's. It's called Libby's now, which is
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
restaurant you see right as you cross the
Yep, as soon as
bridge.
you touch down.
I used to go there all the time when it was Hemingway's, and I haven't been there since it changed hands. I think it's changed hands quite a few times, but
Yeah.
that would be another good team day
Yeah, I
trip.
know the wife for Hemingway's, like I think the husband was like senator. He was involved in the government.
Politics, okay.
Yeah, and then she was a realtor because we dealt with her a couple times over there.
Okay.
What was that?
I don't remember her name. I just know I knew
Yeah.
she was a co-owner. Yeah.
All right.
I hope our listeners got a lot of information out of today's podcast about
I found it edge of your seat
Oh,
listening.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, this is fascinating
I feel
stuff.
just riveted by all this data.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
Did we miss anything?
Did you get through all your history?
Well, I've got 8 pages here.
I
so I'm
see
not
that.
gonna-
That's why I'm asking.
And at least we got a little history in that when these, because I'm sure everybody's going to remember each county and when it was,
I just think that
named officially.
I just think that the Eastern Shore is a very different place.
It is.
Than over here.
But I think we're going to discover that as we're digging into each of the 4 regions. I think they're all so different.
It's much slower over there. It has much more of a southern feel to it.
Still got lots of farming there.
Still have lots of farming. We have farming still on this side.
Yeah.
What we don't have over here is all of the fishing and crabbing and oysters and stuff. And so all that maritime stuff is alive and well and seems to be kind of increasing a bit. I mean, those watermen were in hard times, and that seems to be getting better.
Yeah.
What county is Smith Island in?
I think it was. I have to look.
That's Somerset, I think, right?
I think let me see here. I believe it was Somerset. Yes.
Yeah. The only reason I bring it up is because Smith Island in that area way down there.
Yep. Chrisfield.
They talk different than we do.
Dialect.
They have a very different dialect than we have here. So
that's so crazy. That's interesting.
Well, it's crazy to me that we have Maryland, which is like the 46th smallest state. I mean, we are a tiny state, but these 4 very different regions with their own history, their own culture, and to have that in such a small place, I think it's kind of cool.
By the largest natural estuary in the nation and the world,
the Chesapeake Bay.
Yep,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we have so many. I forgot how many miles of shoreline, but it's an insane amount.
I know I've also never mentioned this before, but I'm obviously from Maine, and one thing I do love.
Blue Angels up in Maine.
Oh my God. Do you want to hear my Maine Blue Angel story?
No, but you can talk. You can tell us about.
No, it's
just
okay.
keep going. With what
no,
you're
I'm
doing.
just kidding. No, but every time I drive over there, I feel like I'm in Maine because it's just much slower. I don't know. It's chill. And I think that's why people move over there. I know people that move over there. We all do, that move over there and then still work over here.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Which
we saw a lot of that during COVID.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
When you had flexibility too, if you didn't have to if you could work from home Friday or work like 4/10s or whatever, that's huge.
It's funny because I always think, gosh, I wouldn't want to deal with the bridge, but the friends that I have there and the people that I know, they never complain.
Yeah. I think
it's a trade off.
My sister and her family lives over there, and you get used to it. You just adapt your life to the traffic, to the bridge, and she loves it over there.
Any other history that we're missing?
Let's see here. There's tons, but I'll pepper it in future episodes.
Okay.
We're only at like an hour and 4 minutes.
Give our listeners something to look forward to.
Guys, thank you so much for listening to today's podcast, and we really hope that you learned something new about the Eastern Shore, and we're excited about jumping into the other 3 regions in future episodes.
What are we going to talk about next time?
We could do Baltimore region. We could do southern. Let's
go west.
Yeah, let's do it.
You guys could talk about how lame the episode is going to be because I won't be here.
Oh, yeah. There'll be no zingers.
So, fun fact, our least listened to episode is when Pete wasn't here.
Yeah, I know.
It makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. Well, he has a following. He has a fan base.
He does.
We're one of the 2 people listening to the podcast.
Yeah. I hate going out with him in public, like the paparazzi and all that.
They just stop him wherever you go.
Ridiculous.
It's kind of embarrassing.
The thing is, when I'm with John, like his head blocks most of the shots I can get. So
that's true too. So you can be incognito.
Guys, find us on Instagram at Maryland Living Podcast. Also, you can on the show notes. You can also visit us there and
leave us a message.
Yep.
Hit us in the mailbag.
I know.
Got our Facebook page, Instagram, all that good stuff.
We'll talk to you next time.
Peace out.
Do you wanna catch a ride downtown?